Okay. Hi, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Thank you. Just give me 1 second. Okay. So last week we discussed about the different steps that are involved in the clinical data management as in a startup and conduct and the closeout. We also taken. I mean, you people also have taken notes of it, like the different steps of it. And what we do today, we're going to talk about all the steps that everything we discuss. Like, for example, what are the different steps that we have in the uh, data management, like in the startup phase, and what are the different steps that are there for the closeout, like a query resolution or the query management or SA management, everything. So now during this process, one thing I want you people to remember is that there are three things that are you need to keep it in mind, that for every clinical trial, one is that documents are important, second one is the system important, third one is the people. That means who are the people that are involved in the data management, like clinical data coordinator, data manager, and the principal data managers, clinical data analyst, and the SAS programmers. What are the documents that are involved in the data management, like a data management plan and the protocol, everything? What are the systems that we use, like a metadata array? So these are steps that we follow throughout our session. Now let me quickly share my screen and just just 1 second, guys. I'm sharing my screen. A lot of PPTs. So, meanwhile, I've also asked you people to read few points, right? What is ICF? Please don't tell me you don't know. What is ICF? Guys, you all need to talk. The reason that I'm asking question, I've already informed, right? Um During the interviews, only 50% would help you for whatever we are teaching. Rest of the 50% will help you only for the communication skills, like how you are talking, the way you are communicating with them, like with the interviews, like how fast you are talking, how slow you are talking, whether you are making them to understand. Sometimes people talk, but they don't make them clear about it, what they are talking. Sometimes people talk, but not relevant things, right? That is the reason that during my session I ask people to talk. Why? Because you get that experience. Okay, so tell me, so what is ICF? Come on, guys. I know, guys. ICF means, oh my goodness, people are being so smart. I know what is ICF. ICF is nothing but informed consent form. But why do we use for, or what is the, when do we use for, and who does sign it? That's what I'm asking for. Got it right? Like, what is the informed consent form, and what is the state that we use? Like, Whom do I unmute? Taken from participants after explaining the research process. Very good. A document that explains the purpose, the risk of the. Very good. Okay, interesting answers. Wait, let me read the. A document that explains the purpose of the trial and risk and the benefit also. Not only risk, benefit also. Why the clinical trial is being performed. Correct, right? Because one thing that you all need to remember, because this is one of the ICH GCP principles. Maybe I'll take one of the session related to ICH GCP principles. Okay. Meanwhile, I'll just give a website www.ichgcp.net. If you go to this website, you'll get plenty of important information about the trial. You don't need to go through all the clinical research related classes, but this website would help you a lot. So informed consent form is one of the regulatory requirement. When I say regulatory, that means government requirement to collect this form. I mean, to take a signature on this form before we start a clinical trial. So whoever is participating in a clinical trial, nothing but the subjects or the patient who are participating in a clinical trial has to sign. However, before they sign this document, the investigator, nothing but the doctor, has to explain the patient about how the clinical trial goes on and what are the risks, what are the benefits by participating in this clinical trial. And if risk, what are those risks? If benefits, what are the benefits? And how the risk and the benefits versus, like for example, is more risk less benefit or more benefit less risk? And what are the samples that they would be collecting from the patients? What is the procedures that they would be collecting in the trial? So they'll explain everything and give the patient ample amount of time to take a decision on that, how the clinic, whether the patient is interested to participate in the trial or not. So when the patient is come back and he will discuss with the family members, hey, I would like to participate in this trial for this disease, as if there are no medication for my disease, and they would be participating in the trial, and they take the signature and they give one copy to the participant, one copy to the site. That's what happens. Also, second thing is that whenever there is a amendment, when I say amendment, that means update, or whenever there is a update in a protocol or clinical trial procedures, like for example, till now they were doing the ECG, and moving forward they are also performing the MRI scan after 6 months. Yes, then they will take signature from the patient, hey, we started a new procedure in a trial, in our trial. If that is okay, we still continue in your clinical trial, and if yes, we need your signature. That means it's a written signature. We are taking the consent that you do not have any objections to participate in the trial. That's what the informed consent form. And also that there are some times where patient can withdraw informed consent form even after starting in a clinical trial. I've seen many of the patients who start the clinical trial today and they take one dose of drug, and next day they'll come and, hey, we don't want to participate in the trial. They say that, and we cannot force the patient. We cannot ask the patient to bribe the patient to participate in the trial. No, we do not do. If such things happen, it will the regulatory will not allow such kind of acts actually. And also that whenever the patient says that he objects any procedures, and it is the doctor's responsibility to explain that. Okay, that's about the informed consent. So when I ask a question, you need to talk all these parameters. But whatever you said, written document, inform the patient about the trial, and they're taking their approvals. Good, it's very good. And whenever the patient signs, they have to put the date and the time and the sign for the particular informed consent form. Good. Anything else? What are the other question that I asked? Come on, come on. What is CT data? Yeah, tell me, what is that? What is clinical trial data? Come on, come on, come on. We have almost 47 people, 45 people. You need to answer. Includes laboratory treatment. Very good. It includes all laboratory and treatment information collecting during. All the information obtained from the participants, include the investigation procedure given. Very good. It is given or the data that has been collected during the clinical trials. Very good. That's all. You don't need to tell anything from the book in the interviews. This one line, like for example, the information that we obtain from the participants during clinical trial. Simple. That's all. And they'll be impressed. Now that's all I was looking for. Okay. So what is the other question that I asked? So someone mentioned complete information of the research. Yes, that's true. But from where? From whom? From a participant. That you need to mention. Yeah. What is inclusion criteria, exclusion criteria? So tell me. This is very important. What is inclusion criteria, exclusion criteria in a clinical trial? It's a set of conditions that make a participant eligible for CT. Okay. Any example? Any example for inclusion criteria? The criteria are factors based on which the volunteers selected or rejected. Very good. These are rules. Instead of rules, you can say criteria. That would be fine, or conditions that define who can and cannot participate in the study. Simple. A is greater than more. Yeah. So now the patient who is less than 18 years cannot participate in the trial. So if let's say there is a patient who said he wants to participate in the trial and his age is 17 years, that means it's a exclusive. Why? Because his age is less than 18 years. So if it is more than 8 years, that means he met the criteria, inclusion criteria. Example, specific age groups, sometimes gender, so specific gender like male or female, or sometimes life expectancy. So they would say we need the patients who has a expectancy of 1 week, 10 weeks or 2 weeks or 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. Or sometimes they say people who have not taken any medications before, or people who have had these kind of diseases. So it's all works out. Very good. So what is informed consent form? Very good. You all really, that's really impressive that you all get, taking some time and getting these points. But trust me, this would really help you for your interview related. Like if you ever get an opportunity to attend the interviews, this would help you a lot. Come on, next. We'll discuss another 2-3 minutes and then we'll go to session. But wait a second. In the previous question, I've asked you people, what is the data? You all mentioned data is nothing but all the information obtained from participants, information that are the data that has been collected during the clinical trials. It includes the lab. Okay, fine. This is the data. Where I'm going to enter, I need something, right, to enter. I have the patient data, I have laboratory data, or let's say I have the patient inclusion criteria. He's eligible. Now, where should I enter this data? He's not eligible. Where should I enter the data? Our patient has been taken the medication, or he got an adverse event, he got the side effect, or I've done the informed consent form, date. Where should I enter? I should be entering on the a structured document that we design. Who designs? The design done by the clinical data management professional to enter all of this data. Very good. Very interesting, actually. Okay, what is the next question I've asked? Come on, come on, come on. The last question. Paper-based data collection. So yeah, paper-based means paper from containing information. Electronic means everything's filed in virtual forms or online recording systems. Very good. Very good. Yeah. Okay, that's all the questions that I want to ask. It's really good. Actually, you really have taken a lot of time and got the answers. But I also encourage others to take some time. Maybe all you need is a 10-15 minutes. That's all. For every class, if you spend 10-15 minutes extra, and you learn a lot. Now, whatever you learn, like whatever you take in the notes, those we will see in the coming classes in the practical, like for example, case report forms while we explain the sessions. That makes some sense, right? So I have this experience or this training during my childhood, during my school days. So the teacher used to tell us that to prepare to read the particular chapter that she's going to lecture us tomorrow, the next day. So when we read today and tomorrow, when maybe we may not understand everything, we used to not get every point, but next day when she was explaining, we used to correlate. Okay, this is what I've studied. This is what I've read, and the lesson you will able to understand the lesson very clearly. Okay, and that's what I was talking about. Okay, let's talk about the startup activities. So we all seen what is there in the study setup process. That is the protocol review and the kickoff meeting that we have. The kickoff meeting is nothing but on our first session. Remember we all had one. Um, uh, what is that? I forgot. Kind of demo session, I can say. Not demo session. If we are during the sometime back, we all had one class actually. We just explained the basics of data management, how this course would help us, and people who if they have students have any questions, and almost 600 people have joined these sessions, right? I this kind of I forgot the name of it, demo mock or something. So that kind of a meeting where we explain them that how this course would help the people and what are we going to teach, and if the students have any questions. Same way, the kickoff meeting means before we start something big or before we start some activity, some work, whoever is going to work who is going to perform work on the particular activity will explain the steps, how long they're going to take. That means how many days they would be taking, and how many what kind of support or what kind of activities they will perform, and who is going to be point of contact. Everything will be explained to the study team. Study, when I say clinical trial study team, it's a combination of, or it contains a lot of people at the global level. When I say global level, that means study level. So ideally for each clinical trial we say study level, study we say, so not as a project. Some people call it as a project, some people call it as a clinical trial, but mostly we say studies. Okay, we say clinical trial study because we are going to study something. There's always a difference between a read and study. We read the newspaper, but we study our textbooks, right? I mean, we study for our exams, because when you read, read it and leave it. We don't keep everything in mind. But when you study, you study for knowledge. You study to gain more understanding on it. So that means we do the whatever the clinical trial that we are performing, we study it, we understand very depth, so that we get to know the A to Z of the information about the particular trial. So it has a three steps. One is site level, country level, and study level. Write it down. Site level, country level, study level, or global level. Okay. So when I say site level, that means, let's say I'll take Mumbai or Bangalore. So anyone is from Mumbai here? Can you name two, three big hospitals? I don't know. That's what I'm asking. Any hospitals, big hospitals in Mumbai? Or anyone from Bangalore? Or anyone from Hyderabad? Any hospital, big hospitals. Name. I just want the names. That's all. Two, three names. Apollo Hospital, Aster, Fortis Hospital, Yashoda. Um, okay, let's take an example of Aster and the Fortis Hospital in Bangalore. So now what they do, we perform clinical trial in Aster. Okay, for example, or Fortis in Bangalore. And in Hyderabad, we conduct in Yashoda. Okay, three hospitals. Two hospitals Bangalore, one hospital in Hyderabad. So now, when I say site, Yashoda will be one site, Fortis will be one site, Aster will be one site. Okay, now we conduct a clinical trial at each hospital. We will be conducting the same trial. You might think, sir, why do we perform same trial at different hospitals? Because sometimes the patient recruitment will be very less. Like for example, in one hospital we get only one patient, in another hospital we get two patients of the particular same disease. And now when I say the country, now my clinical trial has a 5 countries: India, Pakistan, Germany, US, Canada. So India is one country. Now within India, I have three sites: one in Hyderabad, two in Bangalore. So the Bangalore will be the site level, and India will be country level, and all these 5 countries together called as the global level, right? So whenever the clinical trial is happening, every clinical trial execution or every clinical trial um, um, decisions will happen at the global level. So they take decision for all the 5 countries at a time, and this information will be passed to the hospitals as the individual hospitals. We call it as a clinical trial site, we call it as a clinical trial hospital. Again, I'm not saying every hospital don't conduct the clinical trial. Only few hospitals who has the eligibility, who has the facilities to conduct the clinical trial, who has an approval to conduct the clinical trial, only perform. Okay, not every hospital. I think there are only there are not many hospitals in India which conduct the clinical trial, because of lack of trial investigators, lack of patient pools, lack of facilities. It requires a lot of money to set up that, and the sponsors, other CRO companies will not believe these hospitals so easily, because it's all about life and death situations. Okay, now, so whenever there is a kickoff meeting happens, ideally the global, now I said aside, so whoever is leader, whoever is the manager for all these countries for one clinical trial will attend this meeting. And from each stakeholders, let's say that you all, some of you might study the B pharmacy, right? So in B pharmacy you have you have 5 chapter, sorry, 5 subjects. Okay, so each subject or okay, let's say 5 departments. So each department has a one head of the department. It's like one head HOD, and the college has a principal. The principal is the global level, and HOD is the country level, and within each department you also have a lecturers, like let's say you will have a 5 lecturers or 10 lecturers in one department. So they are at the site level, right? So we all the globally, that means the principal is the one person who handle everything at the everything by him, and he passed the information to the HOD pass information to lecturers, and that's what happens. So now kickoff meeting happens. Whenever there is a kickoff meeting happens at the study level, and one person from each team will attend, like statisticians will attend, and data manager will attend the meeting, and monitoring team, and budget team, also that regulatory team. So likewise, whoever is responsible for each department, they will be they'll be attending these meetings. Now what happens in this meeting? 1 minute, guys. Thanks, guys. So now they discuss about the timelines, and they discuss about the data management will take care of this meeting. They will discuss about the case report form. And so someone mentioned here, I mean, not someone, I mean, some people have mentioned here, the paper based means paper form contain the information. The electronic means everything is filed in a virtual forms or online recording system. Okay. Electronic data capture, where data is entered directly into electronic system. Okay. Let's talk about it. Um, Back then, when I was in school, I used to carry a pen and book. Now still people carry pen and book, they write. And sometimes we get in exam, we get when we get the paper, it already contains, let's say it's MCQ exam, and question will be already there, and there will be four answers, which I have, where I have to select the right one. So that means it's already printed. Someone had mentioned paper form containing the information, so it's already filled. I just have to select the right option. Fine. And how many of you people write an online exam? So when there is an online exam, the option will be same, the paper will be same, but we don't write with our hand. We just select the option with the mouse. We just tick mark it. You see the difference. Same question. One is on paper which has been printed. The other one is the electronic. So to write exam on a paper, I have to go to the center. But to write exam online, I don't need to go anywhere. I can sit anywhere in the world and write that particular exam. You see the difference, right? So let's say I have a exam on the paper. Now what I have to print that paper with the questions and answers on one paper. I'll take the 100 of copies. But in the online, we're not going to do that process, right? So let's take an example. When you open WhatsApp, in WhatsApp, you'll have four options. Like, for example, updates, calls, community chats, and settings. You clicked on chats. Imagine when you clicked on chat, that takes you to updates. Or when you click on update option, call went to someone. Or when you're trying to call someone, automatically status got updated. You see that you're clicking on calls, but it taking you to updates. You're clicking on updates, it takes you to the WhatsApp chat. That means that something is wrong, right? Imagine. But when I'm clicking on ABCD, it's getting typed ABCD only. When I'm clicking on chat only getting open. When I'm clicking on updates only getting open. What is the difference? It's called the programming. What we decide to do that on a particular chart, or what we decide to do on a particular application, that only get works there, because at the back end there is something called programming has been happened. So you don't need programming on a paper. You don't write, right? You don't need any programming on paper to print out. All you need is a pen. You write the question, you take printout, or you can write with a pen. Simple, it's done. But imagine that you need something on the electronic way. You always need a programming, because you cannot just write and type it and take the answers. No. And that's what, back then, many years back, we had a post office and the letters. So when people used to write the letter and write the address, that we keep it in the post office, and that takes maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, and to reach that particular person. But now we are calling person, we are chatting, we are just sending a message, right? That's the difference between the electronic and the paper. We are just sent a paper as a letter, but we are sending a text in the electronic format, and that is the different. Now, can someone tell me why we should you why the what is the benefit of using the electronic instead of paper? You tell me that. That's why you get a question in interview. Why should I use the Electronic systems, why not? Minimizing errors, very good. Easier to transfer database to other trials, very good. Helps to keep the data um, confidential, lowering the chances of tampering, improves the accessibility and storage, very good. Easy to store, very good. It's easier to store in the large data, very good. Time consuming, very good. It's paper, it can be misplaced, thrown anywhere, very good. Data manipulation can be done. Easy to retry, can also be destroyed. Environment factors, very good. That's what we are talking, right? So imagine I've changed my phone few days back, and now all my chart came into I've got all my charts into the new phone also. When I download the WhatsApp, you see that it can be saved, it can be archived anywhere, we can open anywhere, right? And that is what we discuss in the kickoff meetings. In order to program this, how many days it will take, I'll show you now how this program works. And now next one is the plan, data management plan. We are, whenever we build a home, first we build a home, then make a plan? No, first we make a plan. Where should be the guest room, where should be the hall, where should be the bathroom, washroom, or where should be the kitchen, where should be, how many floors, how many steps, or how much, how many days it takes. Everything written in the plan, the construction plan. Or let's say you want to study some abroad, and whenever you want to study abroad, or whenever you want to study some university in India, for example, they will give one brochure. It's a plan that how long it's going to take, and what are the subjects that you have, and what is the credit for each subject, and exams time, and everything it contains, right? It's a plan that every person will have before they're going to start something. Same way protocol, I have a protocol that I am going to use to perform the clinical trial before any trial starts. Same way for a clinical data management, we all have something called data management plan. This is our question for tomorrow, next session. What is data management plan? Take note of it. So the data management plan. Now next will be the design. I was saying, right? So now the case report form, okay. um you all have mobile phones. In your mobile phones you have a Facebook, you have a um, um WhatsApp, you have all the applications, right? And where these applications are located in your mobile. Same way that now I have the case report forms. I have adverse event, one case report form. I have patient age is one case report form we entered, and patient demographics one case report form. Patient the laboratory assessment is one case report form, where I'm going to store all these forms. I cannot just store in my computer just like that. I cannot do that. When I'm doing online, I need a folder, right? I need a database, separate database, the base, the data that which I use for, right? And this database design done by clinical data management. Now take a question. What are the different databases? What are the different databases we have or we use in clinical data management? Okay, so now that's what happens. Now, next is the ECRF specifications. So when I say specifications, the specific requirements, how my case report should be. It's a E, small e means electronic. Okay, so case report form, when I say, again, remember guys, when I say case report form, it can be paper or it can be electronic. So specifically, when if I mention ECRF, which means electronic case report form. Right? So when I say that ECRF specifications, that how my data would be selecting. So if I select one option, what kind of other option? I mean, what is the next step that will take us? It's all in electronic, right? So if you click yes, where it would go? If I click on, if I select date of birth, and will it give correctly? Or let's say that patient age, patient date of birth is January 5th, 2005. And if I give that date of birth, it automatically has to calculate the age of the patient till date, till today. So can it do? So we'll do all the specifications that is required per clinical trial. Then, then there is a data transfer agreement that's called DTA. So when I say DTA, in a clinical trial, we use different or the multiple systems that we use. And when we combine all the data from different systems, then that information is being collected from different systems. And in order to collect that data, we use transfer agreement. So we want data from one system to other system. And then screen testing, and then CRF completion guidelines. So completion guidelines nothing but how do we enter the data? We need some guidelines. Then other hand, we do the something called UAT. And these are steps that we have. So now what we do in the coming sessions, like we're going to talk about everything clearly about what are the data management plan, and what is the designing case report form designing, and what is the basic view of the case report form, and what is the difference between the annotated case report form. Okay, so now I want to ask you all something that let me stop sharing. Okay. um Meanwhile, what you can do, you can open the website that I've given, www.ichgcp.net. Have you all opened, guys? ichgcp.net. So there are introduction of ichgcp glossary, the principles of ichgcp. So on first day, read about glossary or the introduction. Then there is something called the principles of ichgcp, the second one. There are almost 13 principles you have. At least you'll get 5 to 6 questions, or sometimes you'll be rejecting based on this ICGCP principles only, because most of the people can't remember. Most of the people can't remember. Even I've attended interview many times. Whenever I attend an interview, one of the common question that I get is that ICGCP principle. So what you do on by next session, read thoroughly about ICGCP principles, nothing else. Glossary also you can read, which gives you the definitions of multiple abbreviations, everything. Right? So whenever you read about it, just read all these 13 principles. And the next session, what we're going to, we'll take 5 to 10 minutes of time and read only these principles, nothing else. Then I'll make you understand why, because this will be one of the expected questions that we have in interviews. You can get one or questions or two questions or three questions. Got it? So read for it. Any questions?